views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow, everyone. Welcome. It's so great to have all of you tuning us in, turning us on. Wow, what an amazing day. And it is really an amazing day. I am so thrilled to be connecting with all of you, and especially, Energy Works Radio with Ataana today, activating self-healing and awakening your potential. But I will tell you this is a pivotal show today. First, let me say hello to Mr. Benny. Hello, Mr. B.
What up, Pat?
You got a great show. You're going to be busy.
Okay.
Busy today. Well, my friend Ataana Badilli joining me here today. Somebody that said yes in his life. Now, how does that look like? How does yes show up in our lives? Well, most of us look at it as an awakening. And what does that awakening look like? Can each and every one of us experience the presence of God and the oneness of all in existence? And the answer you're going to hear today. What is it about Ataana, the work that he does, the people that he works with? What is it about his life and the world we live in today that even brings forth more of his amazing teachings, teachers, life experiences, all leading to transformation? Every step of the way, our true self is a step towards wholeness. That's what this is about. That's what he is about. And, in his fabulous method he's created, this is the way we get to nourish, we get to connect, we get to unveil, apply everything about who we are, not in faux faith, but in full faith. And when we do that, fasten your seatbelt, because accelerated expansiveness and abundance is what you can expect. Today's show is all about the gemstones. It's all about our personal growth. It's all about knowing how, when, and what to call in for an amazing life. The healing aspects of gemstones today, and we've got a special giveaway. Ataana, great to have you here. Yay!
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. I'm so happy to be on the Energy Works radio show, and I'm so happy to be of service. I'm really in some ways just a regular guy. And when I'm approaching my healing work, a lot of people think, "Oh my goodness, he must be enlightened and he must be like a guru or something." And I'm just really a regular dude, that likes to help people and myself. And in some ways, the access that we all have is so special, because we are in so many ways divine in our makeup, that whenever we start to remember our divine core, our creative source, that we can start immediately accessing these gifts, these supporting frequencies that are available at all times, really. The intention really is, and that's what started me out, self-healing, where I realized I'm not well. I need to get myself to a place where my thoughts are clear, where my energy is clear, where my spirit is clear, and where I could release all these attachments that are holding me back and lowering my frequency of illusions that I thought were realities.
Yeah. You know, Ataana, I wanted to ask you, and you and I have been talking about this, and I was talking with you about our theme this year. Every year, a theme is really revealed to us. And this year, actually, our theme came to us last year in the middle of kind of an energy last year that we didn't think this was the right theme. So the theme was accelerative expansiveness in abundance. And so this is our theme for this year. Now, when we were doing this last year, it felt really, Pat. And I kept going back into meditation, right? And and then I did your meditation, and it didn't change. Fast forward to where we are today, right? Here's where we are today. It is an amazing energy. And yet, many people are saying the same thing, Ataana. Many people are saying, oh my gosh, I get it now. Can you address this energy? Am I explaining it right? What would you say about it?
The acceleration process that's happening is literally going into recognizing our unlimited creative source, our unlimitedness. And whenever we go into growth, it's really, we are being asked right now to embrace our vastness in such an expansive expandedness that we often feel overwhelmed with the bad and the good transformation that comes with it.
Yeah.
Because the system is literally, you consider this, we are trying to press more water to the pipes, and the pipes kind of like they're almost bursting because they can't handle the water pressure. And so we are asked really to expand our whole internal system, our energy system, our nerves, our stress levels. They're right now so overwhelmed because we are trying to get our full potential into this life as fast as possible, and that creates friction. Yeah. That friction is there because we are still holding on to limiting belief systems. We're still believing we're limited. We're still thinking we can't handle this. Oh, this is too much. Oh, that's going to overwhelm me, because these are past experiences that we had that where we felt we couldn't handle it, or we had experiences that are still memorized, but we got overwhelmed. Not really trusting now that we are in that expanded state. And a lot of it is really fortifying your energy system, is preventative. And at the same time, when I do energy work, for example, energy work on others, I do this healing work on others, but I also do healing work on myself every day.
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder, how can people even live without doing energy work on themselves or for themselves? Because it's like you're starting to get your system running. It's like you're a coach or you're a trainer, and you're just working the other people out, but you have to starting to work out yourself,
Yeah. I mean, what you're talking about is so important right now. And at the same time, part of this is knowing that if we get into the idea of taking care of ourselves on a regular basis, it doesn't seem as daunting and overwhelming. But, a lot of the times, Ataana, we're going to put ourselves last on the list. You know what I mean? We're going to be in places where we're doing this, we're doing that. We have a job, we have a boss, we're doing coaching, we're doing radio, we're doing so many other things. And then it's 10 o'clock at night, and we realize we have not stopped for a minute to literally thank God, thank Spirit, or any of the above. But what you said is so important. If we're not taking care of ourselves, boy, it's going to be a rough year, isn't it?
It can be, because we have here the opportunity to consider ourselves in the bigger picture, as well as in the smaller picture. We can now put ourselves also in the foreground in the self-love, the self-worth, self-acceptance, and also, of course, self-appreciation. But we can start receiving much more of the natural support that's already given effortlessly, instead of thinking, oh my goodness, I have to do this, I have to do that, and then I believe I deserve that. And that's if you look at it in itself, is already the great illusion. Because when we come to the planet and we incarnate in the body, I firmly believe that we are already pre-approved for any credit, for any prosperity, for any good, for any happiness and health. We are literally pre-approved. When you come here onto this planet, incarnate into this body, you already did major work. What a timing. Just getting that already lined up with the planets, with everything, with the person, with the parents, with everything. And then here you are and you're incarnate. That's a big deal. And then once you are incarnated, the easiest part is really taking care of the creation. Because coming here and manifesting into matter, you can never be talked away. You have always been here on this planet. Once you're incarnate and you're manifested in this body, on this planet, you're there. You're part of all of existence. Regardless if people love you or hate you, they cannot make you go away. Even if you live or die, you have been here. That never is going to go away. And once you have been part of the oneness, you're being part of the overall makeup of the oneness. That means without you, there cannot be oneness. That means if you're isolating yourself or if you're taking yourself out of the equation, you're really interfering with the overall flow of existence, of oneness. And you really take yourself out of the participation in your prosperity, in your love flow, in your healing flow. And the only thing you have to do is really allow yourself to be fully present here with all your gifts, with all what you bring, so that you can look at it, so that you can transform what needs to be transformed. We may come here with some baggage, karmic stuff. Yeah. It's good to look at it. It can be devastating sometimes because it's so much, but you have an opportunity to change it. And that opportunity you have being on this planet in this moment, right in this moment, what is in the way of you stepping into your full enlightenment? You can have this moment right now, in this second. It can happen right here, right now in this moment, wherever you are. And all it is just an intention. It's just an allowing. Because there's nothing that needs to be achieved in some way. And in one way, you have to really just have the intention.
Well, this is part of the conversation today of what everyone that has emailed us is saying. And I'm serious about this, Ataana. We've gotten calls and emails from people about this energy and how someone asked me, they say, Pat, you seem so sure. You seem so sure about accelerated expansiveness. How can you be so sure? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Ataana and I are going to talk about that. What is that level of confidence? Is it confidence or is it conviction? Are we believing in ourselves or are we believing in the oneness, that connection to source energy, God, higher power, spirit? What is it that we are truly setting an intention to? And today we're going to open up those phone lines because it's all about getting some help from some amazing gemstones. And my very special co-host today, Ataana. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
The 24th Annual WOW Conference, United We Change the World, is February 11th through the 15th. Featured guests are Dr. Christine Page on Creative Dragon Energy. Dr. Susan Shumsky will show you how to awaken your third eye. And Mira Kelly will present a 2-day intensive workshop on Beyond Past Lives. Join WOW for intimate, experiential, life-changing workshops and evening presentations that will inspire you. You can choose 2 half-day workshops and receive 1 half-day workshop for free through December 31st. Join a supportive community of women on their journey to discover and develop their passions and purpose in life. Women of Wisdom is the place to be. This February 11th through the 15th. Go to thewowconference.org. That's the WOW conference.org to discover all the diverse offerings WOW has to offer you.
Living Kabbalah. Experience the fruits of the Tree of Life. In this 10-month Ascension program, Kabbalah unlocks the potential of your own divine nature to know and accomplish your unique purpose in life. Get ready for real and lasting change.
Enroll now for this 10-month Ascension program starting January 30th through 31st. Visit 10thhouse.org. That's 10thhouse.org today to learn more.
There are so many resources out there for meditation. But did you know that Ataana's Heart Earth Healing Meditation is available for you for free? Yes, that's right. You can receive this free healing meditation today from Ataana Badili. All you need to do is visit his website, ataanamethod.com. That's ATAANA method.com, and sign up. You will receive your free meditation instantly. That's ataanamethod.com.
Get into it for 2016. Do you want more prosperity, clarity, energy, and balance in your life? Join Lynn Brown now through March for one of her amazing workshops, each focusing on a key part of living your best life. For more information and to register for one of these amazing workshops, visit lynnbrownevent.com. That's lynnbrownevent.com. And get into it this 2016 with Lynn Brown.
Francine Vale is a being of light. She believes that all people of planet Earth are as well. As co-host of the Angel Healer radio show, Francine teaches you heart-centered ways to manifest healing on your own behalf and how to integrate love more fully into your daily life. Connect with your angels as you find your life flowing with ease and harmony. Walk the path of light with Francine and Dr. Pat Basili every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Energy Works Radio with Ataana and me, Dr. Pat. And now today, the healing aspects of gemstones. For those of you out there, we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to connect with Ataana directly today. You have that toll-free number, 1-800-930-2819. You know, this is really now, Ataana, the world we're entering in and looking at, okay, how can I call upon, the various elements, the tools. And when we're talking about healing and we're talking about the healing aspect of gemstones, many of us don't really quite understand what those relationships are. Now, I shared with you that I'm here and I'm surrounded by gemstones. But like many people, we don't understand gemstones for abundance. We don't understand our relationship, quote, of abundance and money. And Ataana, I just want to say this. There are many people in the spiritual community that refuse to talk about money in the same vein as abundance. And I'm just telling you right now that the sense that we're getting is prosperity is in the forefront. And if we choose to hold a consciousness about it, good things will happen in the world. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Because how more abundance, how more prosperity and access to abundance you or we have, how less we're going to do things that are compromising our system or that are compromising, how less likely people are going to want to kill other people for money. So that's a great thing, right? We all want to have and implement the abundance that we knowing there is more than enough for everyone there on this planet. And I'm going even further into it, specifically with the recording that I did, the mantra that came to me in 2008 with the financial crisis happening on the planet, where I defined it a little bit deeper into soul-satisfying prosperity, not just prosperity, but also soul-satisfying prosperity, where you have an access to abundance and prosperity, and that can be activating the aspects in our beings that are really soul satisfying, with having truly things that are nurturing and nourishing around us, within us, accessible, and not just the empty greed-related prosperity. And that's a rhythm that a lot of people still have in their system, where we just think we have to get up, we have to do something, we have to constantly stay in motion to do something and to accumulate prosperity in order to have. That's a lack consciousness program, actually. That program entails really that we are not prosperous. Otherwise, if we are prosperous beings, we wouldn't really have to do anything. We could just ask for it and it's being given. And and as many very deep quotes in Bible and any other holy books, it's accessible to us the moment we are asking for it or we're activating it inside of us. So whenever we feel the lack of prosperity, and I'm not just thinking here about money, I'm thinking about lack of time, lack of love, lack of space, a lack of love, right? In some senses of friends, that's all lack consciousness. And when when that mantra was given to me, it is geared towards soul-satisfying prosperity, and so it amplifies more of what is really soul-satisfying for us. If we have just more time and more space, then we can have, that can be a soul-satisfying moment, because a lot of people are rushed and they have to create literally money of thin air, and they constantly are in motion. But that's a rhythm, that's a frequency of constantly doing. And instead of truly believing and aligning ourselves with soul-satisfying prosperity that has a natural rhythm like the tides, that's a different approach to it. But there is gemstones and specific crystals that we can apply for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And, this is something that, we go back ancient, right? And we go back and we think about how gemstones were used in culture after culture after culture, many, many cultures. Some people look at gemstones and they see them as, as like a bauble, something, that's decorative. But yet we are now learning and have learned about these healing properties. Let's talk a little bit about the healing property. Let's say that someone is listening to the show, and every time I say accelerated expansiveness and abundance, they want to constrict themselves. They think, oh, how can you possibly talk about that? That's not where my life is today. And so the question is, well, how can we heal that? How can we heal perhaps some of the wounds that we're experiencing right now from things that have happened to us in the past?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that's I utilized and I'm an energy healer for a long, long time. So when I started the work on myself, I was given the access to the gemstone kingdom, to the minerals, to the precious stone, semi-precious stone crystals, and the whole crystal world opened up to me. The first step here is, and that's a big reason why a lot of people cannot really connect with the stones. A lot of the people, they just don't have any time. When you look at the gemstones and the crystals, they grow in a rate of millions of years. If you are impatient with the stone is going to just look away and 100 years just passed, So these stones have a whole different time access and growth rate than humans. If we are not in our patience by approaching the stone, and we think we just have 5 minutes, when the stone just came out of a hibernation sleep of 2 million years, these stones, they live in whole different time sequences and time dimensions. If we want to understand stones and gemstones, first of all, we have to access a place in ourselves that is timeless, or that is based in all time, a dimension where we truly take the time to get to know somebody. And you know how when you talk to people and you really take your time, you really want to understand that person, that intention you want to have when you start communicating with a gemstone. If you just say, oh, let me look at this, and, well, it's not saying anything, well, let me look at the next one. That's really not how we access stones. Stones, first of all, are being experienced by holding them in your hands, in your left hand, for example, in the heart hand. And when you have a stone in your hand, to the acupressure points, you can already sense the energy that a stone carries with them. The stones, they are, first of all, have to be accessed to a timelessness or all-time access. level. And once you do this, the stone will see that you have all the time and all the space, because when the stone starts talking to you, the gemstone, that can take a long time until the first sentence from the stone is communicated to you. That can take an hour. Most of the time we just have, hey, 5 minutes, and what happened? Nothing. So let me go on. And a lot of the times when I started to go into the gemstone kingdom, I had all the time. I wasn't doing anything else, and I was dedicating my time and space to really understand the stones, the gemstones, how they grow, what their energy is, what their color is, which chakra they're relating to. Once that is being done, then we know we can create an active access and a communication with the stone that is based on respect, on mutual respect, because then we have the time to communicate with somebody. Otherwise, you're just saying, by the way, you're talking to somebody walking by, hey, how you doing? Tell me your story. What's going on? Yeah, but I'm already gone. I'm already on the other side of the street.
Right.
And when you have the time and the space for it, then it makes really sense to work with the stones. And in the beginning, really just set yourself some time aside first, and really like a serious frame that cannot be disturbed, and then start working and communicating with the stones. There's so many different stones that work on so many different levels, and I have learned so much about them. Another aspect of the consciousness working with the stones is there's truly a consciousness, a higher self of the stones present in the stone that you can hold in your hand. And if you have a stone that lies around anywhere close, grab that stone, hold it in your hand, and a major access point for everything on this planet, in this universe, the most powerful energy that we carry in our system is love.
Yeah.
Love and unconditional love. That's why when children access stones, they have an immediate access, because they just love them. They just love them. And they don't have to be $100,000 diamonds that they start loving them. They're just, oh my goodness, look, they just have a connection with them because they love them. Love, as you know, is timeless. And when you access a gemstone through your love, through your unconditional love, you give them a space and time where they can really start communicating back. You have to think about stones communicating in much slower frequencies and dimensions. Once you establish the connection, they start really communicating fast because you guys are on the same wavelength. But you first of all have to be on that wavelength and then start communicating. And that means you have to realize that there are living beings. I have a stone, a smoky celestial quartz that I got some 15 years ago. That stone pops out every year, a tiny little specimen. It grows it out, it pops out, falls on the floor every year. And when I say they're literally alive, they're truly alive. And I see it popping out, growing it over the time span of a year, and it just pops out. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I love that you gave that as an example, because that is literally what we're talking about. We're talking about a level of expansiveness and a level of abundance that really could be that simple. It could really be about allowing something to grow and pop out, just like that, right? But love is truly the key, not anger, not resentment. When we're going to take a short break, when we come back, we're going to talk about citrine. What is it about citrine that has really gotten the attention of so many people? And what happens if you are drawn? If you are drawn to something? And then we've got a very special gift today on the show. For those of you that want to call in, directly connect with Ataana, have the healing going on live on radio, 1-800-930-2819. We are going to take a short break. Are you ready? Are you ready for limitless abundance? I know I am. I definitely am ready. I know Ataana's ready.
Ready.
1-800-930-2819. We'll be right back.
Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
What are vibes? We often use this word, but did you know vibes can actually be useful and help solve our everyday challenges? Embark on an exciting learning journey with Caitlin Keat, 11-time Visionary Award winner, specialist in vibrational energy, and the creator of Vibes Up. Join Caitlin as she takes you through the world of vibrational therapy and energy healing, with natural solutions for a modern world. Visit vibesup.com to learn more today.
Put a little woohoo in your life with Keys. Keys Clear Protein Waters have 22 grams of smile-making, attitude-adjusting protein in every bottle. Did I mention its tongue-tingling taste? Not just another guilty pleasure. With Keys, you'll enjoy every low-sugar sip and freedom from gluten, lactose, and GMOs. Who needs the fountain of youth when you can find Keys on Amazon or at Keys, Kees, please.com. Put a little woohoo in your attitude with Keys Protein Water.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Hey Owen, I just heard about this book on the Dr. Pat Show, and these reviews on Amazon are amazing.
Oh yeah? What's the book?
It's called Conscious Being by TJ Woodward.
Oh, he's the Awakened Living radio host.
Yeah, this book looks like just the guide we've been looking for to really connect and make those conscious changes in our everyday relationships and experiences.
I love it. Can we get it on our Kindle apps?
Of course.
To learn more about Conscious Being and author TJ Woodward, visit consciousbeingbook.com.
Do you want the freedom to spend more time with your loved ones? Travel the world? Live spontaneously? Get ready, because the Chip Justice Show is here. Hosts Dr. Pat Basile and Chip Justice can help you build meaningful success while embracing life. Living a life you love is the end game in this new, inspirational, and empowering show. Positive changes for a life you'll love. Tune in every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com and visit PositiveChangeInstitute.co for more information.
Turning over TV stations, situations running through my head. Looking back through time, you know it's clear that I've been blind, I've been a fool. To open up my heart to all that jealousy, that bitterness, that ridicule.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Wow. Oh my gosh. I am so thrilled Ataana is joining me here today. Now, before we kind of jump into this, and Maureen, I'm so glad you called in with your question. We're going to bring you right on. Ataana, what's the best way for people to find out more about you? And please take a minute to talk about the upcoming workshop you have.
Oh, yeah. My website is ataanamethod.com, ATAANAMthenmethod.com. And you can find me under Ataana Energy Work or energyhealer.us. And when you look at it also on Facebook, you have a lot of access to some information that I'm already posted there. The energy healing classes, I highly recommend them if you go into an awakening process and either you feel overwhelmed or you're experiencing like heightened sensing or energetic or empathic experiences where the energy is cluttering your system. You're being given lots of good healing tools, self-healing tools that you can apply to cleanse your system. But also if you want to start to apply this as a profession long-term, it's a calling, and it's a process where you go into the awakening, getting the tools, doing energy work on yourself and on others. And it's a really good service for the overall awakening process, on the planet, literally in the universe. And the next energy healing class is coming up end of this month. End of next month, February, and then we have about every month we're going to have an energy healing class online. We have different levels of the applying work levels, how you can apply your energy work for others. That's it's very similar like Reiki, different levels of how you apply it. It's just a little bit more accelerated and much more specific. Instead of just being a wide range, it goes very into specific accelerated healing. That's really what my work is about. And you can find us on ataanamethod.com and on Facebook. And, of course, if you want to look into the YouTube channels that I have out there, into the YouTube videos that I have on my YouTube channel, you should find it too on the Ataana Loa or Ataana. You will find me there, okay?
Oh, it's beautiful. And, this is really for many people, Ataana. I don't know if you mentioned this, but you also have meditations and CDs. And you have a meditation about prosperity, too.
Absolutely. I'm doing the one men's every Wednesday, and that's people come by into the office. I have a big room there where people could just come in, and it's a guided meditation. At the same time, it's an energy checkup. I energetically see what's happening in every person that's there, and they have, of course, a life energy adjustment. It really clears the pipes and the whole system out, and aligns them for what they're gonna do, what they have to do for the next week or next month, depending on how often they come. Then the one men's, they're being recorded, so you can download them after the live session, or you can tune in live wherever you are on the planet, and it's a really powerful system to keep you going wherever you're at, so you have an actual conscious connection to your forward momentum and the dynamic.
Wow, I love it. Now, just perfectly, we have a caller that has a question about citrine. And boy, isn't that what we were just getting ready to talk about? Benny, who do we have?
Take on Maureen, calling in from Seattle. Maureen, welcome to the show.
Hey, Maureen, how are you?
Thank you. I'm great. How are you?
Good. How can we help you today?
Well, my question is, when you're picking out a stone like citrine to purchase, does it matter if it's in the raw form or polished, or does it make any difference?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Good question.
For me, I love citrines or stones in the raw form. I go out even digging. I take people out to their own digs where they actually can find their own healing stones, and they're being grown naturally. But I have found stones that have been energetically active when they were polished and in raw form. It's really more what's your preference. Whatever your preference is. And a really easy way to check out if that's the right stone for you is you hold the stone with your left hand in front of the belly button and see if it pulls you forward or pushes you backwards.
Oh, okay.
Right? And that's really it's almost like a muscle testing that you can do with about any product, really. You can just, hold it in front of the belly button. Is it life affirming? Is it good for me right now or not? And if it pulls you forward and you have your feet shoulder width apart, and you ground yourself for a moment, connect with the earth, and then just hold it in front of the belly button. And then if it pulls you forward, it's your stone. If it pushes you backwards, pick another one. Even if it looks amazing, let it go. And then pick the raw one. And the raw one might pull you forward. Sometimes the raw one will push you backwards, and vice versa.
Okay, that really helps, because sometimes you're overwhelmed by the amount of stones and whether they're real or if there's some other form of stone they're passing off as citrine or.
Oh yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of amethyst are heated, and then they are specifically with the geodes, the bigger geodes that are looking like caves. When you look at them, they basically put them in can put them in an oven and heat them, and the heat will actually change the color from the amethyst purple into a brownish yellow.
Wow.
Okay. Yes. I think I've
Great
seen
question.
those.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you so much. What a great question. For those of you out there, I just want to make sure, and Ataana and I don't know if he's open to this, but I wanted to share a personal story that I had in working with Ataana the other day, and how powerful his work is, and I can't even explain it. But since you and I talked, so many things have shifted and changed, and I can't even explain them. But before I do that, Ataana, I want to just say how absolutely amazing and generous he is. We have, and this is the way we're going to do it on the show today. First caller, we have a 2-pound citrine that Ataana is paying forward to one of our listeners here today. And Ataana is going to talk more about it. This is an amazing gift because it's not just about us getting on here and chatting about this. It's for all of you to understand how absolutely generous and amazing Ataana is, and how precious his work is, that he is really like, you know what, let's gift this to somebody and help them transform their lives. And it's a 2-pound citrine, 1-800-930-2819. And again, first caller, Benny will grab your information and we'll make sure it happens. Ataana, the power of the work that you do is hard for me to explain. You and I were having a conversation the other day, and it really, I think it was less than 24 hours ago, actually, now I'm thinking about it. And within that period of time, so many things have changed, not just for me and what you and I were talking about, but I've even seen it happen for some of our hosts. One host in particular that wanted to expand her network, and believe it or not, expand the way she is on her show, and everything fell into place. I would love for you to talk about what this could mean for people, the work that you do, and especially talking about us working with gemstones.
My life's service and purpose is supporting beings to become whole again, and myself too. Mm-hmm. And that is a conscious decision that I not just made with my intellect. I came in here with that attainment already. I just didn't know exactly how to apply it. And so my intention, or my spirit kind of collected all the high frequency tools needed in order to get that back into motion. I consider myself a supporter in becoming aware and utilizing the full potential. And all of us have the right to do it. And when we really use our full potential and we're activating it, we're doing the right thing. And my intention is, and that's happening quite automatically. I have sometimes, after a session, I give people the access to me and say, if something happens or something comes up, just text me and let me know what's going on. And sometimes they text me, and the moment I read it, like five minutes later, I get a text. It just got dissolved, And it's more like I consider myself the part of the eye of God, and to me, it's being seen. And once it's being seen and being recognized, the need for separation is not there anymore, because we're recognizing that all is divine, that all is God in its essence, right? And with that consciousness, with that belief, I'm looking at lives. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at the environment. I'm looking at the world. My question is like, okay, so how far, how deep do I have to look to see God in it? The divine in this, whatever it is that's manifested. And sometimes it takes a second to look at it. Sometimes, it percolates a moment. But we can see very fast when we, without any resistance, and with surrender, when we look with surrender at what we're seeing just as information, as truly what's being done, what's being seen, then everything else becomes not important. The ego really literally disappears. It's like, what is that showing me? Where's the face of God in here?
Yeah.
And that's how I often look at life, and even problems that look sometimes so like mountains, right? And when I look at it, I'm looking at it with the eye of God. And when you look at it to the eye of God, you see the biggest problem is even the smallest.
Yeah.
And everything has a solution. I truly believe that everything has a solution. And whenever we connect whatever is happening with the true successful solution, it's being solved.
Yeah, I love this because, this is what I said when I started the show earlier about am I going to, show up today with unwavering conviction? Or am I going to have this thing that I call faux faith? We talk about faux fur. Well, I'm talking about faux faith. And that is, this notion that what shows up in my consciousness is the imposter of faith, meaning I really would love to believe in abundance, Ataana, and prosperity, but there's a part of me that is just kicking and screaming. Let's call it my ego. I'm not sure what to call it. Just kicking and screaming and say, that must be for that, that must be for Donald Trump or somebody else. But, I don't even know how I see this happening. But we're living in a different energy, see here. We're living in an energy, and fortunately or unfortunately, we call changes like what you just described miracles. But by the very nature of what you described, that energy, that level of change is available to all of us. And if it is available to all of us, then it's no longer a miracle. It's actually the norm, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's like everything else, is know-how. The know-how is very important, though. Even though when I'm going very spherical or astral about it, there is still a translation into action, how it's being manifested in the physical, right? In the past, we probably thought when we want something, we have to put it into a magical spell, and then we mysteriously getting it. Now we probably just can get up and go and get it, and it's right here. At the same time, the process has to be understood. A lot of the infrastructure is just not there, and that infrastructure has to be energetically understood. I understand the energy blueprint of a person's life or of life in general, and I can translate this to the micro or macro. I can see the energy structure similar like a little irrigation system of water that waters a field. I can see how the irrigation system is either blocked there and the part of that field doesn't get the water there, and then we can unblock the channel. Then the water is flowing freely there. Consider water as life force energy, chakras, accumulating it by spinning. And when we bring a healthy energy flow into the system, and that's something that I'm just doing, that's just the benefit of being around me. That's what I'm saying. When I'm doing these one-mans, people just being in my energy field, people, there's an emotional intelligence. They just start to remember. It's not like I have to say much. It's more like, hey, I already knew that. We all need to know it, It's more like once you see a system that is utilizing it, then you start utilizing it too, because there's an emotional spark or intelligence, that energy spark goes throughout the room, and even through the recordings, and even like in the conversation that we have now, it spreads like into the channels and wherever you're listening to it. Energetically, you understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about the blueprint, the infrastructure, the irrigation system, the know-how. It's not just having the intention, but holding that intention of prosperity comes with, am I feeling worthy enough to have that prosperity? Because now what you're going to do when you have $5 million, are you going to be afraid that people are going to come and take it from you? Right. Are you going to be able to protect that money? Are you being able to protect yourself, right? Because who's going to say that somebody that really loves you, that took advantage in the past, is not going to take advantage again? All these understandings and access and traumas have to be dealt with at the same time. And then once you get to the place where you say, I am worthy of prosperity, I can contain it. I can contain it, be the container that really can hold it. I mean, if you see you're looking at your bank account and you have now $10 million on it, what the heck are you going to do with it, And having the wisdom literally to know, okay, I can invest it, I can buy something and I can balance it. And then also having like the vastness to stretch yourself into that understanding. What am I going to do with $10 million? You know, what am I going to do good? Am I going to buy me a flashy car that does something, or am I just going to upgrade my? And all of these aspects play into this. And I help people gently to build up into their full potential so that they don't feel constantly overwhelmed. Because fact is, everyone is already overwhelmed with what we deal with today.
Right.
And a really big aspect is not to putting more stress on yourself and say, I have to now like get another discipline in order to get me there. It's more like strip away the illusion and stay focused to what's essential. Essential is, here's you, there's your source. Inside yourself is the source. You can access your source through yourself, through your heart. And prosperity, look at who is the most prosperous being on the planet, or what is the most prosperous being on the planet or species. That's the humans. They're producing like every freaking second there's another being coming in. Right? I mean, it's like unbelievable. We're like the most prosperous species on the planet. I mean, we're going to go from here to the next planet, to the next galaxy, to the next multiverse. And you can imagine we're like we're manifested prosperity. I mean, we're creating like one after the other, and it's so powerful. It's consuming like everything because we are so prosperous, and not utilizing our own prosperity in form of humans. It would be a waste. Look how much potential there is.
Well, isn't that really what this is talking about here? You know, and oh my gosh, I wish we had another hour to do. And, you know, that's what I think Ataana and I, what we're going to start to schedule is we're going to start to schedule an hour and then a second hour, which we'll let all of you know about on TTR. But part of this in really holding that consciousness of expansiveness for the good, for a better world, it is really not that thing that we have to struggle, like you said. You know, are we willing, Ataana, to let go of hard? Are we willing to accept flow? Because I think that's the difference between me watching my uncle, the race car driver, ever so beautifully tap on an accelerator and know exactly how easy that is for him, or somebody else just struggling with how to even find the accelerator. Isn't this what you're talking about? And how gemstones and the work that you're talking about, it could really help us get into the flow of it, can it?
Oh, absolutely. And if you know your energy system, your chakra system, or just a little bit about it, or you can just Google the chakras.
Right.
Each chakra has a main function. And they are, of course, related and connected to the glands, to the major glands in the body. When we talk about the citrine and the citrine energy, you have to look at these beautiful stones. They're truly understood the art of giving and receiving, and they're keeping a balance. They're said that the citrines really don't need to be really fully cleansed. I cleanse and energize all of my stones that I have and do energy work with them to get them really ready, and then align them with a person for whatever specific purpose they are working with. If that's like getting the money for the budget for a movie, or if it's just changing the job, or just building enough funds for buying a house or so. Whenever you understand the balance of giving and receiving, you understand that humans are totally out of balance with giving and receiving. They either give too much or receiving too much, or not giving enough, not receiving enough. There is like an imbalance of the giving and receiving. And the imbalance of the giving and receiving, you can very simple boil it down to the balance of male and female energy in the system. And when you look at the citrines, they're called the merchant stone, and they're very powerful stones for abundance. One of the reasons why is they don't hold on to anything. They're constantly in a perfect, shouldn't say perfect, in an ideal flow of giving and receiving. There's life force being given to them, and they pass it on. They don't hold on to it and say, well, let me give him like 70% and I hold on to 30% of the life force. I don't know when the universe is going to give me some more.
Yeah.
That's the consciousness that they hold. Now we would go and say, well, let me give 90%, I hold 10%, or let me give 50%, 50% I hold for myself, because who knows if I'm going to get something back out of past prior experiences. Now these Cyprians, they are laughing at it. They're laughing at, why the heck would I hold on to anything when the universe, God, gives me like every moment? I would just become stagnant. I would just dam up so much energy that I would become stagnant. So these Cyprians, they teach us how to give and receive in balance.
Yeah. Wow. Ataana, this is part 1. Ataana and I are going to do part 2. As a matter of fact, this is so absolutely important. We're going to do a special show. So thank you, Ataana, for what you're doing, everything. Thank you all for tuning us in. And what a fabulous gift one of our listeners received today. Stay tuned. We'll show you a little bit more about that. We'll be right back with the Transformation Talk Radio Network.
Thank you.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against pulled me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shouldn't I pull off my head and a trouble that can be named.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.